Some of you guys like working from home and not in the lab, so I'm going to go through this setup real quick here for how you can get your Mac to be able to use all the commands that we need to use for class. And this will also apply to Linux, and we're working on a solution for Windows, and hopefully they'll be done later today. So at the moment, this is what the setup document looks like. It's under revision at the moment, so it might look a little different when you see it, but the steps will be the same. So the first step to getting everything running on your own computer is to make sure all of these things are installed. And so let's do that real quick. So to get Java version 7, I'm going to say Java SDK for the developer kit. And you probably want version 7 and not 8. The only reason for that is so you don't accidentally use things that we don't support in our system. So, in my case, Mac OS, it will begin downloading. Okay. Next we'll go for Python, and we'll say download Python 3, okay. And then Xcode. Here you can download Xcode somewhere. I believe in us. Downloads, okay. I'm not sure. I mean, 5 will work fine, right? 6 is a beta. I'd be a little more nervous about it. I mean, if you're on Yosemite and it forces you to, probably it'll work. But yeah, Xcode, get Xcode. You actually don't technically need all of Xcode. You really just need the Xcode command line tools. But it's a little trickier, I believe. It's been a long time. But you can actually also just only get the command line tools, and that'll be fine instead of having to download this giant thing. Up to you. Okay, so after you download all of these things, I'm not going to do the Mac one because I actually have what I want already. But for Python, so we'll open this thing up, get Python installing, and I'm assuming you've done an install like this. If not, just pick all the default options and things will work fine. Okay, so let's take a quick break to let this finish downloading, and I'll come back after that's done. The next thing we're going to do is make sure all that stuff installed. So let's try it out. Oops, 1 dash, okay, version, rsync version, svn version. Okay, so it did something for all of them. It didn't say like command not found. So everything's installed, so we can get really moving. So the first thing we're going to do is use this command called rsync, which is going to copy a folder from a remote computer to mine. So I'm going to say rsync a cs61b-aa and copy and paste the rest. And what this will do is stick a copy of this folder in my home directory. That's what this means, home directory. So if after doing this, you go to your home directory and then say cs61b software, you'll see a bunch of commands. And here is all the stuff you need, like the homework command and so forth. Now, they're not going to work yet, so we have a few more things we need to do, but they're on your computer. So the next step we're going to do is make sure that our software on our machines is going to believe you when you say, hey, I'm 61b-fh or whatever. So what you're going to do is get a file from your account in order to, as a proof of control, all right? So what you'll need to do is first check and see if you have a folder called SSH. You can do that by doing home SSH. In my case, I do have one. If you don't have one, you can create one by doing this. And it won't work, but one of the side effects of running this command is this folder gets created. So after doing that, even if you didn't before, now you should have an SSH folder, right? After you have such a folder, we can use this command. Oops, I need this part. So rsync-a cs61b-aa at this. So I run that. And so what this does, you'll have to type in your password, is gets a file from your account and puts it on your local computer. And so if you look in SSH now, you should have a new file called idrsa_cs61b. I should have mentioned earlier, by the way, that your folder will probably, when you create a new one, not contain all this stuff. Hopefully it doesn't, otherwise you're using my computer probably. Anyway, okay, so this file right here, it proves you control the account. The next thing we need to do is make sure that when your computer tries to talk to the instructional computers, that it actually presents this, right? So we're going to tell your Mac or Linux machine, this is the thing I need to present. This is the secret password. So to do that, we're going to go to the SSH folder, like I've done here, and create a file called config. I'm using a text editor called Nano because it's installed on your Mac already, but you're welcome to use anything else. So let's open up config, and I'm going to copy and paste this in there. Okay. Then I'm going to press Control X, because that's what I'm supposed to do. Say yes, write file, and you should now have config. And we can double check that it's correct by typing cat space config, and good. Okay, next step. We just need to run this command verbatim as a test. And we do this, and we see, okay, cool, success. So what that means is that the TA account believes you. It says, okay, you're cool. One more thing, if you'd like to be able to actually SSH into the instructional account from your home computer without typing your password over and over. So right now I have to do this. Well, I already did it earlier. Well, there you go. Okay, so if you want to be able to not type in your password, here's how you do it. So you'll go into SSH. Actually, you don't even have to do that. All you have to do is copy and paste this thing and run it. And some magic happens, which I won't go into detail on now. And now when you try and log in, it won't ask you for a password anymore. Okay. And that is that. This next step about Emacs is only relevant if you want to use the debugger we have not yet learned how to use. That'll be next week in Emacs. And so I'm going to skip this step since I don't think that we really know how to like test it or anything. Maybe we'll come back and video something about it later. Okay. So at that point, things are pretty good. We know that the TA account trusts us because of this thing. The only thing left is we need to be able to call the homework command. So to do that, all this here is saying is that, well, let's say you want to try and run a command like potato. My computer says potato not found. When I type home, so it makes sense. There's probably no computer program called potato. When I type Python, for example, it does know where to find it somehow. Homework, it doesn't. But homework's a program just like any other. And what this is saying up here is that there exists a list of folders on your Mac that is looked in. Every time you type potato, it checks every single one of these folders to see if there's a potato program. Say, for example, this one, this is how it knew where to find Python. But obviously, potato is none of these. And also, it's a problem that homework is in none of these. Whereas homework, it is in fact in cs61b/bin. So all we want to do is make it so that the path contains this folder. So the way we're having you do it is you should open your bash profile. So is that what we call it? Bash. Okay, so I think you really only need to put it in bash profile. If it doesn't work, you could try putting it in this file as well. But let's open up home/bash profile. So here's a bunch of stuff because I have a long bash profile to make everything look nice. I'll scroll to the bottom slowly, and here we are finally at the bottom. I'm just going to copy and paste this line here, save, and now what happens is every time, so if I look at path now, we see that there's no change, right? But if I open a new window, all right, so now I say echo $path, we see somewhere in there, there it is. So now this thing's in our path, so when we type homework, it should work. Great. So you're now in business as far as being able to use homework. This brings up an important point that if you only want to work on your computer but compile and run on the local machines, that's fine. And homework is a great way to do it because homework allows you to commit and then you can synchronize on the other end. So you can use homework as a way to exchange files. So let's test out homework and see if it's working. What we'll do is I like to put everything in Dropbox. Just so if I'm using multiple computers, I know where everything is that way. Whatever you want to do. I'm going to make a folder called like 61B homework or whatever. And then I'm going to say homework init homework. I think I've already unknitted, so it might yell at me. Homework init, homework 1. See what happens. Okay, I've already started homework 1, so we're going to say homework checkout. I'm new to it. I'm kind of guessing. Maybe I should go look at the documentation. But, all right. Assignment checked out. All right, cool. So here's my latest version of the homework on this computer. And if I make a change, let's say I go into arithmetic and I vandalize it. Haha, Joshua's here. Okay, whatever. All right. Now I want to tell the world about my misdeeds. So I will say homework commit. Oops, I need to go up one folder. Homework commit. It'll prompt me for a message, possibly. Do I not have to give a commit message? That's crazy. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. I was going to type a message about bragging about my vandalism, but I pressed enter and skipped it. All right, well, anyway, so that's the basic scoop. So at that point, hopefully everything works on your computer. I guess you can also check by running make. All right, cool. That's good. Make check. Cool. All right. So hope that helps. And yeah, if you're on Windows, hopefully we'll have a similar solution for you soon.